Our imperfections make us attractive. Do you really want to look perfect? Our society is obsessed with how we look, but only a small percentage of people can be classed as physically beautiful. And this beauty is never permanent. Age, sickness, or accident can take it all away. In fact, at no time in our history has the majority of our society been so obsessed with how it looks. Billions are spent on the makeup, fashion, and clothing industries. With the explosion of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube, how we look has become much more important. We want to portray ourselves in the best and most attractive way. This is natural. What if we finally achieved our goal and we all became beautiful? What if we all looked like models? One answer to this question came in a movie starring Bruce Willis called Surrogates. Now, most Hollywood actors tend to be good-looking or physically attractive to both men and women. Bruce Willis may not be the quintessential good-looking male lead, like Johnny Depp or Cary Grant, but he's not that far off the mark. So imagine a film with Bruce Willis where he actually plays the ugliest person in the entire movie. Surrogates is a 2009 movie set in the future where 90% of the population use a kind of artificial robotic version of themselves, a type of avatar called a surrogate, to carry out their daily activities whilst they remain at home lying on their beds plugged into a virtual reality headset which connects to these surrogates. These robots, or surrogates, essentially did everything in life. They went to work, commuted, did the shopping, and basically carried out all the usual jobs that people would have to do in normal life. The owners could lie down at home, participating in the world from the safety of their beds. A notable advantage to these surrogates is that people could design and customize them. They could be made physically stronger with the ability to leap great heights and run faster than normal humans could do. And of course, they would all be attractive with perfect figures and features. In this movie, Bruce Willis's surrogate has a full head of blonde hair and perfect skin. He looks like a model from the cover of GQ magazine. In fact, everyone's surrogate looks like a model. It is an entire world full of models. In this movie, Willis plays a detective investigating a suspicious murder somehow connected to the inventor of the surrogates. It is a perfect world full of beautiful, perfect people. What the viewer of this movie starts to realise is that it is actually quite boring that everyone is so good looking. It becomes tiring to process after a while. This is because everyone seems so sterile and fake. And as we learn, these surrogates also become a way for people to run away from life. The movie becomes far more interesting when Bruce's surrogate is damaged whilst pursuing a suspect and he has to go about investigating in his normal form, that is, without his perfect blonde hair. And when he does this, the contrast is telling. He appears more rugged and rough-looking, but in a handsome, masculine kind of way. He looks more real and more like a middle-aged man instead of a Ken doll. In a world full of perfect models, he seems more alive, more interesting, more real, and more attractive than all of the synthetic people he encounters, even though physically they are more attractive. This is a metaphor for real life. What this movie teaches us is that perfection is actually quite boring and bland, and normal features are so much more interesting, so alive and full of character that we can never really get bored of looking at them. The irony is that we strive to look so perfect in life, feeling that we are somehow ugly, when in fact it is our supposed imperfections that make us look more attractive. We place so much emphasis on looking good and on our physical bodies, our shells. It is understandable. We want to look the best. It is pleasurable to be considered attractive by others. However, it is apparent that celebrity culture and the fashion industry has created many unrealistic expectations of what attractiveness is. One of the most insidious parts of popular culture and reality TV is that it has made many of us narcissistic. We just care too much about what people think about us, and by doing so, we let the advertisers control our lives. This makes us unhappier because we become less content with accepting things as they are, and accepting how we look. If you think you are ugly, consider this. For centuries, our ancestors have been breeding and passing on their features to us. If they were so inferior, then this just would not have happened. Their bloodline would have died out centuries ago. But no, this did not happen. This means there is something unique and strong and beautiful in you. And this strength is not just about physical looks or how much we weigh. It is something much more fundamental. It is our uniqueness, our differences, our perceived imperfections that have made our bloodline strong. We don't all want to be like penguins with barely perceptible differences between one or the other. Our features also reflect our personalities. Though we may see an imperfection, for example, someone may think they are too fat, actually, that supposed imperfection potentially carries with it all manner of advantages. For example, a more robust level of health, a stronger immune system, a louder voice, and a more yang character, which conveys many advantages in the workplaces of this current society. It is our differences that makes us more interesting to converse with. Where does this insecurity about our appearance come from? And is there anything we can do to counteract it? The author and expert in traditional Chinese medicine, Giovanni Maciocia, writes that the heart energy of the body houses the mind, which in Chinese is called the Shen. This means that the heart energy is responsible for mental activities and our emotional state. If the heart energy is strong, we have normal emotional activity, balanced emotions, clear consciousness, keen thinking, and good sleep. If the heart energy is weak, there can be depression, dull thinking, anxiety, and poor sleep. In particular, we are more susceptible to feelings of insecurity, especially about our own appearance. Therefore, to counteract these feelings of insecurity about our looks, we should look to strengthen the heart energy of the body. There are different ways to do this. One is to strengthen our body energy center, our Dantian field. This is an energy center in the lower abdomen, approximately 3 finger breadths below the belly button. If we meditate on this point, we can make a stronger Dantian. A stronger Dantian can make us emotionally more balanced. Meditating on this point for 5 minutes a day can help strengthen our Dantian and overall energy of the body. There are also acupressure points on our hands and wrists. We can massage these points daily to strengthen our heart energy by gently stimulating the heart channel. One point is called Heart 7 on the wrist crease. Another point is called Pericardium 6 on the middle of the wrist crease and approximately 2 finger breadths down from the crease. Gently massage these points with the flat of your thumb for a few minutes. These points help balance the heart energy. Going back to the movie Surrogates, all of the citizens in this movie essentially became prisoners of these good-looking shells, or egos, by locking away their real selves in dark, stuffy bedrooms, whilst these artificial models went out and operated the world. The world became a sterile, uncharismatic world full of fake personas. We never really saw the real people. And perhaps this movie was telling us that this is the price of perfection if we ever get it. There are people that are born with great disabilities, but if they can learn to realize their own power, they can live very fulfilling lives. For example, people like Helen Keller, who was blind and deaf, and then overcame her disabilities and went on to create a change in the world to champion the rights of blind people all over the planet. Or the Japanese lady, Hisako Nakamura, who as a young girl lost both her arms and legs from frostbite and gangrene. However, she overcame her disabilities by learning how to sew, knit, and write calligraphy without the use of her arms. She wrote about her experiences and went on to have her own family and children. There are many other examples of people like this in the world. After watching this video, ask yourself, is it really necessary to be so perfect? It may bring some short-term satisfaction, but it does not fill the gap in our lives. The most beautiful and attractive men and women on this planet do not necessarily have the best or happiest lives. Quite the opposite. Be grateful for your looks, and remember, our supposed imperfections actually make us attractive. If you would like to learn more about Genki Health, check out this book, The Genki Self-Health Guide. Improve your body and mind with traditional Oriental medicine.